Okay, well, hello everybody. Welcome to ThermoStream. It's been a little while. I've been busy. I've had a lot going on. You are only hearing me right now, not seeing me. I am the ghost of Sam. The ghost of Sam Past is currently grabbing her painting supplies because she forgot them in a bag. Yay! You know, all the fun stuff of when you start painting and you forget stuff. Yeah. So, I'm just grabbing my painting supplies right now, and we'll jump right on this shortly. But welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining today. I'm going to need to spin my monitor around because I can't actually see any of the comments if you guys post them right now. Now I can. That's good. Okay, so today I am going to be working on painting. So stream, I'm going to write this down, let you guys know. Painting leather. Now you guys know what I'm doing. And I'm going to make it live. There we go. Okay. ThermoStream painting leather. So now you know. Okay. So I'm working currently on a commission for an individual who wants to do a Power Ranger outfit. And therefore, I decided to, okay, cool. Well, then if I'm going to work on this person's Power Ranger, why are you seeing my cat's bed? You should be seeing me. It's fine, guys. I just wanted to show you guys my cat's bed. But, yeah. So hi, now you can see me. So I've been collecting all of the supplies for this, and I successfully acquired everything I needed. And now I can just go ahead and start painting. Some of the supplies, for some reason, were delayed. I think there's just some issues with Amazon, but I measured everything out, and so once I finish painting everything, I can really quickly stitch all the pieces together, and it will be done. So this is going to be a really quick build. For this particular character, I decided to use found objects with the permission from the commissioner. And so I am currently going to be using, let me know if you need more light on the main camera. I can put more light, but I'm going to be using Angela's Pearlescent Pacific Blue Leather Paint. Oh gosh, this is tricky to do. Can you see that? Yes, you can. Yay! So I'm using this to paint my commission with. So I purchased a leather vest with a biker vest. These are really well-made vests, and it was going to be faster than me making the product completely from scratch because I can just paint it and move on. But what I wanted to do is I'm actually going to start at the top here so I can start moving this up as I paint. One thing I will let you know about Angela's leather paint is once it's on something and it has stuck to it for more than, oh goodness, I gotta say like 24 hours, it's pretty much permanent. It's very difficult to remove. So that's really good for any sort of fabric that you need paint to be on permanently. I'm going to grab, here we go, there's my brush. So I like to use like a mid-sized brush, a smaller one, even for larger surfaces, just so I can control how much of the paint I'm actually using. Let me pull all of the, I didn't realize it's so much black paint in this particular acrylic paint palette. I might have to grab my other clean palette. Oh, look, it's coming up. Now, if you're not familiar with Angela's leather paint, it is essentially a flexible, I believe it's like an acrylic-based paint. It is, yes, it's a flexible acrylic-based paint that it takes 48 hours to dry. In my experience, I go with a thinner coat, so it actually doesn't take that long to dry. Hello, other camera. If the other camera is bothersome and you want me to just use one camera, let me know. But I figured you could see that I'm over here and I really am alive. You can also see the cat bed that the cat is presently not using. It's fine. but I wanted to kind of walk through. So you want to make sure you shake it up really good. This is a 4-ounce bottle of Angelus leather paint. And that's just because I'm doing a much larger piece of fabric. However, the smaller 1-ounce bottles, typically actually the cap itself has a brush in it. So if you don't have a brush available, Angelus leather paint's like, here, let us help you. If you can't hear me, please let me know. Goodness gracious, can I speak today? My brain is so tired. The microphone says you can hear me, but I know that sometimes the microphone lies. So if you can't hear me, just let me know. All right, so I like to put down a little rag because I'm clumsy, and off and on I will just end up getting paint on my stuff. If for some reason you get paint on your desk or surface that you're painting atop, Angelus leather paint can be removed with a magic eraser as long as it hasn't set the full 48 hours. So basically immediately remove it, and you'll be good. You'll be fine. But hello and welcome. Thank you for joining the stream today. This is going to be a really, really simple tutorial, really easy. It's literally you just take the paint and you go. Now, because this is a black vest, I will have to do 2 to 3 coats of this leather paint, which is why I start with a really thin coat. The pearlescent paints tend to build up a little bit faster than the matte Angelus leather paints. I'm not entirely sure why that is, but that has just been my experience with Angelus leather paints. And a lot of fabric paints in general that are like shiny or pearlescent tend to build up a little bit faster. I wonder if it's just I don't know if they're thicker or if they absorb better. If anyone knows why this happens, it can tell me. Thank you. But I am just currently painting the top half of a pre-made leather biker vest. And I wanted to do the back first so that I could see how many coats I would need to do before I do the front. And this is always the fun part of leather painting. This is a very rewarding thing. This is also a good idea that if, say you need to do a fast costume, you don't have time to commission someone, or you don't have the money to commission someone, you can just buy a pre-made object and you can paint it to the color that you need. And then from there you can move forward with adjusting things. I'm painting the front half of this later because I have a bra cup that I have to attach to it. And painting the bra cup is going to be a little bit different because the material is different. I wanted a smoother bra cup. I didn't mind the leather having a little bit of texture on the rest of the body because that looks more natural for fabric, especially for leather armor or fabric armor, which is kind of what this character is wearing. It's Madame Wolf from Power Rangers. She has a resin one, but the person who commissioned me to do this wanted to do it out of fabric. And so having something with a little bit more texture will draw the eye to the color more. But for the bra, I wanted it smooth so that it wasn't as obvious. It's like, hi, I'm Boob Cups. What's up? I bought like the largest boob cups I could find because Madame Lo is quite busty. This is also a good thing for individuals who are heavier set and larger and have a difficult time finding people to commission for their costumes. I know that plus size cosplayers tend to struggle with finding people to commission because a lot of individuals are intimidated to make plus size costumes. So if you buy pre-made materials and then modify them or hire someone to modify them, that's incredibly useful, which is essentially what's happened here. I purchased pre-made materials and I've been hired to modify and tailor them to match or come close to matching the desired character. So as you can see, I've painted a whole lot and I'm not even through one little... Why do I figure the palette cup? I ate food earlier. That's the problem. I have food brain. This is what happens when I eat. I go into brain coma. I didn't even eat that much. It's okay. If you have any questions or you want to talk about something in particular, please feel free to post Otherwise, just watch and you can listen to me talk. I've pretty much said everything I need to say about Angelus leather paint. It's very, very easy to use and apply. And like I said, I highly recommend doing it in very thin coats. Don't put too much product and try to make it thick right away, or you'll end up with very unusual buildup and it's just not pretty. So it is considerably better just to build up in layers and do it that way. But if you have any questions on fabric painting, feel free to ask them. I have done a considerable amount of fabric painting, and I would be happy to answer your questions on that. Otherwise, if there's a topic in particular you want me to talk about, I can do that, or I can just talk about what my plans are, what I'm going to be doing at SabotinCon, and what my plans are for YumaCon in October. So feel free to post your comments now. Oh, I'm terrible at this. Guys, I need to find another service that lets me play music that's copyright free that Facebook will not continuously reject. Because YouTube's totally like, oh yeah, I see you have a license for this. And Facebook's just, no, Facebook wants to reject any of my music. For those of you who don't know, when I stream to Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube simultaneously. I use a product called StreamYard, which is shared between the Cause Talk Live crew. It's pretty awesome. So if you're looking for a really good streaming service, I recommend it. It's super easy to set up and use. Like, you don't have to know a whole lot about streaming to get ready with it. So that is nice. But in a couple weeks, I think 3 weeks now. Oh my gosh, 3 weeks. In about 3 weeks, SabotinCon is going to happen. And you might see this costume over here. And if you know Fate Stay Night and have an idea of what character this is, go ahead and shout it out, and I will say yay or nay. You're probably going to get it spot on if you watch Fate Stay Night, honestly. But at SabotinCon, I am actually running 2.5 hour workshops, and I'm running 2 panels. So on the first day of SabotinCon, you're going to see a thermoplastics panel. That would be run by myself truly, along with a few of my cosplay friends. We are going to talk about the different types of thermoplastics that exist. So things such as Worbla, Cobra Cast Art, Wonderflex, Wonderflex Pro, Sintra. So we'll talk about the thermoplastics that are adhesive and non-adhesive thermoplastic at SabotinCon Day 1. I believe that is set for 5:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Friday of Sabo. So that'll be my very first in-person, like in an actual room panel since March of 2020. I did go to Game On Expo last year, but it was a drive-through in August on a stage where everybody was in their cars and we were using a radio station. So I don't really count that much. Okay, I already have the top part painted. So now I'm going to move this up and I'm going to start painting the lower part of this vest. As you can see, this goes really quickly. I think I need to move some stuff off my desk. I'm actually working on 2 projects at once right now, because sometimes your brain gets frustrated with one project, so you need to like take a break from it and move on to another. So I do that. And then I can go back to the next project and be like, oh, that's what I wanted to do, and I figure it out. So it always happens. But Day 1 of Sabo is the 2.5 hour thermoplastics workshop. And then Day 2 of SabotinCon, I have that's Saturday, because SabotinCon is Friday through Monday, Labor Day weekend. So Day 2 on Saturday, I'll be doing 2 panels. So I'll be doing the Cause Talk Live panel with a vast majority of the Cause Talk Live crew. We'll have some crew members available online and some on site to show you the difference between the two. And we're going to teach people how to stream and what services you can use, what's available, what's easiest, and what you may or may not have to do to get ready to be a streamer if you want to do it regularly. So that's what we'll be doing. I think that one is at, I think that's at 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock on Saturday of SabotinCon. And then on the same day at 4 o'clock, we have a body painting workshop that's 2.5 hours long. And we'll be demoing the use of powders, tights, water-based makeup, cream-based makeup, and alcohol-based makeup. So we'll be demoing a lot at Saddleton Con. So day 2 is Cos Talk live from Saddleton Con and our body painting workshop. On Sunday, I don't have any panels, so I'm just going to be doing a meetup for the Fate Stay Night crew, and then other than that, I'm going to be free, so if you want to hang out with me or talk to me, let me know. If you're at Saddleton Con and you want to say hi, I'd love to say hi to you. Then for Monday at Saddleton Con, our final panel, which I believe is at 2 or 2:30, is going to be retro anime. And that's going to be the usual anime fun of us playing classic clips from animes between the 1970s and late 1990s. And we'll talk about our favorites, how anime changed, why it changed, and we always kind of rotate our clips, and we've got some new clips this year. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really excited to go back, and I'm very happy that they have a mask mandate. If you're not aware of that, Saddleton did institute a mask mandate. They are basically staying on pace with whatever the CDC says. So they're following the CDC regulations, not the Arizona government, which can't make up its mind. So Saddleton Con is requiring masks. My costume lineup, day 1, I was thinking about wearing Nurse Joy. That might change with a dress I'm about to receive. I may be doing a gothic Sakura Nanamine from Toilet Bound Hanako. Just because I really like Sakura's kind of aesthetic, and I like apparently wearing that green wig, that really unusually like pea green hair that she has. So that might be what I actually wear on the first day, and that would be really easy for me to do my demo in, so we'll see what happens. I'm going to finalize my what I'm going to wear to Saddleton Con a week before the event happens, so I will let everybody know. And I may even just put a vote up and see if there's something in particular people want to see. I am for sure wearing KD8 Ari more on one of the days. I'm thinking that I'll probably wear that one on Saturday in the morning and afternoon, and then switch out to a different costume in the evening of Saturday for the body painting panel. I have quite a few new costumes that I acquired during the pandemic, and some that I updated, and so I have a long list. I have like 25 active costumes. And I don't want to bring any more than 5 to Saddleton, because I could see myself doing one costume change in a day. I just don't know if I want to do a costume change every day. That's complicated. I've done that once before, and I was like, this is so much work doing a costume change in the middle of the day. So if I do it, it's going to be with characters whose makeup is very similar, or something such as the body painting demo where I'm going to have to take all my makeup off anyways to show you guys what I plan on doing. Plus, the costume I'm moving into for the body painting demo is from Avatar: The Last Airbender, and I'm pretty excited about it. I've been wanting to wear it for a while, and I need help getting into it because it's lace up on the sides. So, yeah, it's happening. Plus, the face is painted so much that I like. Although I'm wondering if I should even wear a wig. I might just legit run around with my mohawk. Because why not? Did I? Okay, yeah, I didn't paint. I'm just going to paint to the edge. So I have this vest has laces on the side. And I actually have to replace some of I have to replace what it's laced up with different laces, because these kind of, a lot of the vests that you're going to buy pre-made, I'll just warn you, if you buy pre-made vests, corsets, costumes like that, a lot of them come with really cheap leather ties that break very easily if you try to tie them really tight. So I like to replace them with just really nice black shoelaces. It works so much better, and I highly recommend it. I just realized I didn't buy black shoelaces, so I need to do that. Plus, shoelaces have a lot of extra length. So if you're you've gained a little weight or you've lost a lot of weight, you have more flexibility with how you can lace it up. So also for individuals who are plus size that have things that lace up and you need more privacy panels, I highly recommend buying little sample sizes of leather, and you can install it with like Gutermann fabric glue, which I have right here. So you can install it into anything with this. You have to wait 24 hours for it to cure, or you can hand stitch. But I'm going to be installing privacy panels in this vest so that the individual who's going to wear it can, if they're working on losing weight or if they gain weight, they will be absolutely fine and they'll have all the space that they need. So, yeah, I was gonna do something real fast. I was gonna look at because the pre-laced measurements should be what I think they are. Excellent, cool, okay. Yay. Pre-laced measurements are what I think they are, so then when I add the privacy panels, it'll be the perfect size for this individual. So this is the thing is, like, sometimes you don't want your fabric or you don't want your armor to be foam or plastic, right? Because foam and plastic, when you wear armor on your upper body that's foam and plastic, it's essentially like wearing a corset. And if you're unfamiliar with wearing a corset, then what I need to explain to you is that you can't really bend. You have to like sit down really awkwardly, and it's not easy to travel with. This individual has to travel with a large storage bin, and it's really hard if he has to fly anywhere. And so that's one of the things that I encourage you to look into is if you're a larger individual, or even if you're a person who wants to be more comfortable and your armor is plastic or foam and you want to, make it out of fabric, please look at vegan leather or faux leather, or even look at spandex and just, you can slide in some foam or wire into the spandex and make it look as though it is supported by something underneath. So you can totally fake it and at least be able to sit down and move and be more comfortable and maybe even eat, because eating food while in foam armor is nigh impossible. Foam armor just doesn't breathe very well either, so you get overheated a lot faster, whereas leather and fabric is meant to breathe. Like, I know that sounds weird, but leather is a natural material, so it's actually a lot easier to move around in, and it breathes more than other materials. So I've almost painted this whole back of this vest, and I've only used 3 cups from the palette. So like the Angelus leather paint goes a long way, and it says the top is already dried significantly, so I can rotate this and start painting the other way again. And we'll just keep working through this. I hope you guys are having fun. I hope this is interesting. I don't even know what time it is. It's gonna like roll over here. Hi. Bye. Oh, it's almost been 30 minutes. Okay. That is crazy. I feel like I should have like whale sounds. Ooh. I can't make a whale sound, guys. That sounded like a really messed up owl. No, I feel like whale sounds while painting leather would be perfect. I feel like this would be the right sound. The whale sound. Just calm whale sounds to soothe me as I paint my leather. I like this idea. But I like to paint stuff right as it comes out of a package too, so that you can get into some of the wrinkles, and then as it settles more, you can see where you need to make improvements. And like modifying this isn't going to be too difficult. I have done a considerable amount of planning to make sure I don't waste any of my product. So I did spend a week kind of figuring out the measurements and strategizing and determining what I would need to do to make sure that this costume matched what the character looks like. So. And right now the color is a little bit darker than it will be once I've added another 1 or 2 coats. And I'll make sure I take a picture of this in like indoor light versus sunlight so you can see the difference. Indoor light always skews the color of things, whereas sunlight kind of shows you a bit more of what its true tone is. So I'm just trying to get good coverage here so I have a nice base. Oh no, I got some paint on my table. Alright, I'll take a magic eraser to it. This is what I mean. Just a little bit of paint gets on there. It wants to be there forever. This is kind of relaxing though. It's gonna make me sleepy. Oh no, I can't fall asleep. Don't fall asleep, Sam. Don't go to sleep. So are you guys planning on going into any conventions? Is there anything coming up that you want to do? I know there's still a lot of virtual conventions happening. Like I said, Salboton's happening here in Phoenix in about 3 weeks over Labor Day weekend. And then we've got YumaCon in October, which is in Yuma, Arizona, which I will be a guest for. So I need to follow up on them, actually. See how everything's going over there. Okay, I'm going to rotate this a little bit. This is like the perfect size table. I'm very happy I have a very large table so that I can fit stuff like this on it. I used to have a smaller table back in the day, and everything would fall off, and then I just have to plan painting time on the floor. And I don't know if you've ever sat on a floor that's concrete and painted for several hours. It's incredibly uncomfortable. So I bought an actual rug to sit on, but then I was like, what's the point? I'm clumsy. I'm going to get paint on my nice rug. So I'm just back to painting on my desk again, because if my desk gets dirty, I can clean it off pretty easy with a magic eraser. And if for some reason it stays on permanently, well, this is my crafting desk. At some point, it was bound to get something on it. Maybe I do a little drawing around it and be like, this is when I goofed up. Who knows? But I also just realized I should have painted. I'm going to do this the other way. I need to start this way so I don't get paint on my arms. Now I got to remind myself not to get paint on my arms. And I'm going to switch hands. Yes, I can paint with either one of my hands. Ooh, magic. I am artistically ambidextrous, so I can draw and or paint with either one of my hands. But I feel like there's a lot going on in the convention and cosplay space right now. Oh, for those of you who are in Arizona, tomorrow is the Pixie Pros Tempe cosplay event. So if you still haven't bought a ticket, there are still a few available. Not many. We've actually sold quite a few. And we're trying to keep it very limited so that there's proper social distancing in play. But there are still a couple tickets left to my knowledge in the Tempe location. And if for some reason you miss out on the Tempe Cosplay Night Pixie Pros event, the very next weekend, August 22nd, Arrowhead is also having the same event happen on Sunday. And that one is going to be the same cost, just at the Arrowhead Mall location. So the Tempe location is standalone. It's in a separate building. There's parking on either side of the building, so don't worry if you run out of parking space. There is parking on the other side of the building. There's also parking in the neighborhood right adjacent to it. But yeah, if you want to see me, I will be at the Pixie Pros Tempe event tomorrow from, I think it's 7 to 8 p.m. or 6 to 7. It's on their calendar, but I'll be there. What will I be wearing? I don't know. I'm thinking Sasuke Uchiha from Naruto, but we'll see. We will see. sometimes I can't make up my mind. I do have a wig for Sasuke, so maybe I should just wear Sasuke at the Pixie Pros Museum tomorrow night. If there's a particular costume I have that you're like, oh, I'd love to see you in it, comment or message me, I guess. There are some costumes I don't have available right now. Like, for instance, Yojimbo is still in a museum. So I don't know when I'll get access to that again. And I don't mind it being in a museum. That's really cool. So if you didn't know, my Yojimbo costume is at the Tempe History Museum, which is has an exhibit up on the history of computers and video games and how they've impacted or how they changed, the social scene. And cosplay is one of those things that video games and computers changed. So it's very relevant. I don't know why I keep switching. I can't make up my mind on what hand I want to use today. But I'm almost done painting everything except for the corset area. All right, base coat has been applied. Let's very carefully rotate this. And now I'm going to start, once again, back at the bottom. So that's just kind of what you do with Angelus leather paint. You just rotate. Oh, apparently I put too much on this part and it's rubbing off on me. Oh no. All right, I'm going to move my camera for a second. Hello, people. So you guys can see like a little bit more of what I'm doing. And then, yeah, if you need to see more of the paint thingy, let me know. I can move it. Oh, I have paint on my table now because my arm dragged on it. It's fine. I'll clean it. It'll come off. Yeah. I should just saran wrap my table when I paint. Who thinks saran wrapping my table when I paint is a good idea? I do. Why not? Okay, so that took 30 minutes to paint one coat. So I think that's pretty good. That's very successful for a single coat of Angelus. And it only used 4 of these little cups in a paint palette. So I'm assuming it's going to take another 4 more to do the second coat. I'm going to let this dry for just a moment, just a little bit more before I apply the second coat here. I don't know if you can see this, but it's like super shimmery. It's really cool looking right now. It's like, oh, you know what I should do? I adjust my light right here. There we go. You get a little bit more light on the actual, adjust my blinds. So, all right, well, that's drying for a little bit. I'm just going to roll over here. I have so many chairs everywhere right now. Be like, yo, what's up? Hi. Hi, people. I'm literally watching paint dry. Oh, I need to sleep more, I think. Yeah, I think I need to sleep more. This is probably my issue. But I wanted to get all the leather painting done today because I have to let it dry for 24 hours before I can start stitching on all of the detail work that I cut out for it. So I knew this was going to be the longest part. Like, I knew it was only going to take me maybe 1 or 2 hours to, well, it's going to take technically 2 hours to paint both sides. But then I was going to have to wait 48 hours for it to fully cure. So while I'm waiting the 48 hours, I can work on the bra cup and improving that. And then, yeah. It's good times. But I hope you all are having a good day. I think I give it a couple more, like give it a minute or 2, and then I think we'll be good. I think I can actually go back to painting it. But, so, do you guys have any questions or any cool news? Anything interesting? No? So, I guess I could tell you for Salvation Con, the costumes that I'm considering taking, and if you have any preferences, let me know, but I'm considering taking Nurse Joy, I'm considering taking Sasuke Uchiha, Lady Dimitrescu, KDA Ari Moore. My Fate Stay Night costume is going, absolutely. And then Kyoshi Warrior from Avatar The Last Airbender. I also have a Deku Midoriya And I have a Gary Gabriev, and I have a lot of anime costumes. And a gothic Sakura Nanamine from Toilet Bound Hanako. Decisions hard. Cosplay decisions are hard. Okay. Well, I'm gonna stop sitting here and showing my little red face because I don't have proper lighting. Just for, if you didn't know that. Oh, I forgot to turn my camera. If you didn't know, when you're streaming, if you don't have proper lighting, you almost always look very, very red. Oh look, there's a Togruta headpiece there. I'm almost done working on that one. I had to improve it. It was excellent, but I had to make it easier to stay, like a better way for it to stay on my head because I have such a little head. So now we are on to coat number 2. Coat number 2. I can't figure out where the cameras are. And the camera is tilted backwards and upside down and on a weird crane. But let's see if I can get the rest of this painted before the stream ends. And then that means all I have to do is the other side today, and I can get back to working on the adornments like the pauldrons and the trim work for the back and the boob cup. This isn't a very complicated build. It's just complicated in the sense that when you're working with plus size individuals, you want to make sure that everything can be adjustable. I'm considered a plus size individual. My weight does fluctuate off and on due to like health problems or stress or just life. Working with corsets or with fabric that requires more stretch and give means you have to take more time and care and planning to ensure it works. So that's sort of the goal and gist of everything. But thank you all for watching today. I know there's only a couple of you today and you've been quiet. I totally get it. You're probably just watching me going, I need to take a nap. So I'm going to watch. Or you're playing video games and you're being so kind to listen to me. Or you're working on your own projects and being like, Sam talks a lot. I try to keep it interesting. My voice is actually really worn out. I went to 2 cybersecurity conferences last week. And I walked 50 miles in 5 days. And I had there were mask mandates, which is totally awesome with me. But I have a very quiet voice. So like right now, even my microphone has to be turned up to hear me. And because I have a quiet voice, I have to yell a lot. And this is why I like giving presentations at conventions that have microphones, because then I don't have to yell. I have just such a quiet voice. It's really hard for me to project loud enough for an entire room to hear me. And it's not like my diaphragm doesn't try. It seems to be a limitation of my actual voice box. I even had a choir instructor tell me that I had proper form in my diaphragm, but that my voice wasn't coming out as loud as she thought it would be. I was like, yeah, that seems to be a problem I just have. So I totally feel you there. Also, this second coat is already looking like I am going to have to do 3 coats. I'm going to tell you this right away. I can tell I have to do 3 coats. But this second coat is coming out so beautifully that I am very excited for all of this. I'm excited for my customer, and I hope they're going to be happy with it. It was very difficult finding a leather paint and a fabric paint that actually matched the color of their character. And I think after 3 coats, this is going to come pretty darn close. Plus, I don't know if you've ever seen Madame Lowe for Power Rangers, but depending on which type of like TV you're watching on, which episode or which artwork you're looking at, the Power Rangers have artwork for her. The color of her breastplate is like 3 different kinds of blues. So I just sort of met in the middle. And I was like, this is the blue I'm going with. This is the blue that works best. This is a legitimate blue that if there's ever any damage to this, it's easy to find. Angelus has had it for a really long time, and it shines and shimmers like armor does, so it'll have that nice kind of pearlescent look and give it a bit more of a leather armor look than just, plain old fabric. Like when I did my Gowrie Gabriev, the armor, I put some really rigid foam, HD foam, in between two pieces. So I sandwiched HD foam in between spandex. And the spandex has like a super high like a pearlescence, and it was really pretty. And in the light, it looks like legit foam armor. And I hid all of the seams underneath the foam so that you're like, oh wow, this is really made out of foam. Well, foam itself are just really trashy cut up pieces. Most of it's actually the fabric, and the foam's just acting as some support underneath. But I also prefer making, like, if I'm gonna go with armor, I prefer to use like vegan leather or vinyl or faux leather, because it's a little bit easier to manipulate into those armor shapes. And some of those, like vinyls and some leathers, you can heat shape or wet shape. You can use water or heat, and you can actually shape them into the form that you need and let it set and actually form that, so you don't even have to have seams. I will warn you, if you're using a vinyl, be very, like, test out heating it before you actually do that. Like, take a little scrap and test it. Some vinyls do not take heat very well at all, so you'll want to test it. The soothing painting of a vest. Using my left hand to support this, and I'm not putting too much pressure on the fabric. If you put too much pressure, you'll cause streaking. And I don't want this to have terrible streaking. Once I do the third coat, whatever streaking exists will go away. And I might just apply the third coat with a sponge brush to ensure there's no streaking either. So anywhere where I see paint pooling, I just kind of lightly run my brush over it to try and encourage it to smooth out. But it's looking so pretty. So it went from a dark black to a very, very light blue already so far, which is totally awesome. And it, like I said, this goes really fast. Really fast. Okay. I'm going to take a drink of water real fast, guys. I need water. Okay. Let's start rotating this. Actually, I need to rotate this the other way because I painted that side last. So keeping track of what I painted when is very important. There we go. All right, so I'm going to start with this side, and I'm going to start in the middle and then paint this way towards myself. Apparently I have hiccups. Oh, actually I could start painting like this, and that'll guarantee to get rid of any streaks. That works too. I'm really going to make sure it gets in here in the crevices. So that's one thing that'll get you, is you want to make sure you get all the paint in the crevices. So that way, as it flexes and moves, you don't have too much trouble. And I got paint on my table again, 'cause I'm clumsy. Paint on my table. Oh, no. That'll be easy to wash off. I will wipe it off right away. I will not let it sit. But my goal is to have this particular outfit done by Friday of next week so that my client can try it on Saturday, so that if there's any problems, I can make adjustments and have it to them by Sunday. I always like to do a test fitting, see if everything works, or if I forgot something, they can let me know. But a trial fitting or a test fitting is very important for me. Sometimes I can't do it. Sometimes my clients live far away in other states. I haven't done commissions very regularly in the past 2 years because I had so much going on. Off and on, I'll accept them, but it's an incredibly limited amount. And it's usually with things that I think I can get done pretty quick or that I'm intrigued by. And this is one of the ones that was both. This was, okay, I think I can get it done pretty quick, and I was intrigued by it. It actually took longer and will take longer for everything to be delivered to me than it will take for me to actually finish making this. Because I had to order a lot of custom trims and notions that I could use to make sure this met my vision of Madame Lowe. If her armor was fabric and not resin or whatever it is they ended up casting her armor out of in the TV show. It may have just been plastic. They may have just vacuum formed some plastic. I think that's what a lot of the Power Rangers and early 90s shows did, is I think they vacuum formed a lot of the armor that superhero and kids shows characters wore. It's cheap. And it was probably easy for them to recycle or reuse with multiple characters. So, like I said, this isn't too complicated, but you do have to take a lot of care and just try very hard to make sure that none of the paint pools anywhere. So you want it to look nice. So, now the front of this vest does have buttons, which Madame Lowe's character does not have. So I will be adding one detail to this armor that Madame Lowe does not have. I will be adding a gold, essentially strip accessory down the center. It's going to be made out of the same gold leather that I bought for the trim for her breastplate. But I consulted with my client, and they said that they would actually really like to be able to get out of this quickly instead of having to unlace themselves every time. So leaving the snaps there was a good idea, and just hiding them under something. So I'll be hiding them under a gold strip. Alternatively, what I can do is I will be painting the front. So I can just paint the front and ask them, hey, do you like how the buttons look painted? I don't think Angela's leather paint stays very well on metal though. So I may have to stain the metal a different color, but we'll see. It's either going to be a gold trim or it's going to be the exposed buttons, but in the blue color so that they're hidden. Because let's be honest, if it's not vacuum formed, it's going to have seams and it's going to have stuff. Any fabric armor will have seams. You can hide a lot of them, but if you want it to fit right, you're just going to have to accept that it has seams. I don't think seams are unsightly. I think seams are just more natural. Bodies don't conform to boxes like anime armor, and TV shows want them to. Plus, TV shows typically have a much larger budget and have much more interesting machines and tools than the average consumer does. So, mimicking that to the best of your ability, as long as they recognize your character and they recognize that, hey, that armor looks just like Madame Lowe, is that what that is? Then I think you're set. But obviously, make it still look good. Don't. If someone's paying you for something, don't get cheap on them. Each vial of paint was pretty expensive. And that's the thing too, is it's worth it because the color is coming out so nicely. Sorry if you hear noises, but apparently my neighbors are testing out a new motorcycle. I just keep seeing them go up and down with it. It's like a little small dirt bike. I'll check that I'm almost out of the paint on this palette, so once I run out, I'll check the time and see how much I have, if I can finish the other side of this jacket. I think I can. I think I have enough time. But I don't want to be wrong. If there are any topics in the future that I haven't covered that you want me to cover, anything about cosplay, costuming, guesting, something that you're curious about and you'd like me to cover on a ThermoStream, please let me know. I would be happy to schedule something in the future for that. Or share progress on a costume that may already have something involved with that. I have quite a few costumes of my own that are just kind of need repairs or are work in progress, and I really want to finish up all of them by Phoenix Fan Fusion. So we'll see if I can do it. Really want to get my Turian done by Fan Fusion. It's just some of the leather I need to order for her is apparently unavailable. So I'm going to have to figure something out with the fabric for the Turian. But, oh goodness, I'm knocking stuff over. All right, so we only have about 10 minutes left. I'm going to get to painting as much of the other side as I can. And then I'm going to call it a day. But if you have any questions, please let me know. I'm going to spin this around and start painting the other side and then say adieu to all of you. So this my stream may go a little bit longer today just so I can get this other side painted while all of you are present. And you can see what's involved. Oh my gosh, come on. You know you want to rotate. There we go. Yeah, I think what I'll do for the third coat, just to make sure there's no streaking, is, like I said, I will come in here with a sponge brush and sponge the final coat on so that all of the color is completely even. I mean, it already looks really good, but I'm a bit of a perfectionist when painting things, and if the color isn't exactly how I imagine it in my head, I will sponge it to death until it's perfect. So, yeah, that's gonna happen. All right. Now, I will say that the Angelus leather paint, it does dry to the touch, usually within like fully dry where you can pick it up and you're not going to have anything. It can, this one, like for instance, the pearlescent dries faster, but if you do the thinner coats, it dries to the touch in about 15-20 minutes. But I would at least recommend 12 hours before putting it through a sewing machine. And it fully cures within 48 hours. So, oh, I forgot to paint the other corset. Okay, I won't paint this corset side. I have to make some modifications to it anyways, so. Yeah. Getting painted, the crevices. That's the one reason I like to start with a brush, is I like to get all of the paint in the crevices, and then I can come from there and make everything better. Oh, I got a comment. Hi, Ray! I'm coming over. Yeah, Angelus is amazing on boots. I purchased a secondhand pair of Draculara boots, and they were painted with acrylics, so they were terrible. And I went and sanded off as much of the acrylic as I could, and then I repainted with Angelus leather paints, and they look so much better. So much better. But my first 2 coats are always with like a brush so I can get into all the little grooves. And then if I need a 3rd coat, which because of the type of fabric this is, I will, then I come in with a sponge. That works really well. Plus, as you've noticed, I haven't used any water. I don't use water on my brushes for Angelus leather paint until they're time to be washed, like a color change. I want as much of the product to build up onto my fabric as possible. I do not want water to dilute it. It already has a fair amount, like Angelus is not a very thick paint. It's very wet. So you don't need to add water to it. Adding water to the Angelus leather paint will definitely cause more streaking, and it kind of messes with your color strength. So I just don't use water while applying Angelus leather paint. I just apply as is. You can also airbrush this, to my knowledge. I have not airbrushed Angelus leather paint. I always worry that it would gum up my airbrush, so I just apply it by hand. But word on the street has it that you can apply it through an airbrush. If I'm going to airbrush fabric, probably I'm going to go with Jacquard, which is made, their paints are made specifically for airbrush to fabric, so you have less risk of it gumming up your airbrush. I'm going to scoot on over to Ray. I'm going to read your comments. I need to let that section dry for a moment anyways. You use the Angelus leather paints for your Bakugo gloves? Yeah. So you can use Angelus leather paints for pretty much anything. Like, a lot of cosplayers actually use the leather paints on their armor, like their foam armor and their mostly foam. Their foam armor because it's flexible. And before plaid effects existed, Angelus was really the only paint you could use on foam successfully without it cracking or without having to mix your acrylic paint with fabric glue, which is what I've done before to make it flexible. Or just go on the full route of covering your foam in fabric because you don't even want to bother with it. You know, all that stuff. So, but my goal for today was to get both sides of this painted. So once this is dry enough to the touch, I'll just flip it over, work on the other side. Actually, I can just separate the corset and just lay the whole thing flat on the ground. I'll make sure to put my rag down so that's safe. Rug, towel, something. Something to keep the vest safe and clean. Because I'm a very cleanly person. I don't like clothing on the ground if it's not dirty. It needs to go and have something underneath it. Like most of my pictures, when people see me laying out fabric, I have something under the fabric because I don't really like stuff touching the ground. Even though I like clean my floors pretty regularly. But yeah, I think I might be looking at acquiring a collection of Angelus leather paints for future prop and armor builds, just because I also like how rich the color is and how easy they are to mix. Angelus leather paints are as easy to mix as normal acrylics. So leather has all these little cracks and crevices that it likes to create, trying to get everything into there. Let it settle completely. And what I'll do is I will just kind of show you guys what this looks like. I'll flip it over and be like, hey, look, this is what the color was before, and this is what the color is now. And you get to see how pretty it is. This Angelus leather paint is called Pacific Blue. And it's very pretty. Very pretty. I'm excited to see it in the sunlight because it's supposed to be very shiny. I can already see the pearlescence in it, but I'm really excited to take this outside and see how shiny it is. Shiny like armor. That's why I suggested this color. We are almost done. I'm going to try and use the rest of the paint in this cup. And we can flip it over and look at it and go, oh my gosh, look at the color shift. And then I can take a little break because I need to take a little break and then come back to painting the other side because I can't like separate this until I've had enough of it dry. So I am going to paint this little corset area and then I'll just turn this around and paint the other corset area. The other cool thing about Angelus leather paints is if you have a high friction area, it tends to survive a lot better than any other fabric paint. There's some fabric paints that in high friction areas, they just kind of flake off, even if you've heat sealed them. Angelus doesn't do that. I've even mixed Angelus leather paint with strontium aluminate, which is a glow in the dark paint, and it worked. So Angelus is just miraculous. It's freaking awesome. Okay, now I need to actually legitimately clean my brush. Okay. So I'm just going to move this over here, and I'm going to take this, and I'm going to let you guys see. So, my hand got caught. So I'm going to put this here. Okay. Don't mind all this. This is all the supplies I need for this project. So that's why you see a tub on the ground. I'm usually very, very clean. All right, so see how much prettier that is when you actually get to see the color not on a table? This is a very, very pretty color, and it's very shiny. And the leather is just going to need to, like, sit out for a little bit because leather likes to wrinkle like this. But this is a gorgeous color. I'm very happy with this. And, I mean, it went from this to this. So that is the beauty of leather paint. It is incredibly awesome. I'm going to steal my phone back. Oh gosh. And I'm going to disconnect from here. Okay. So we're going to lose one thing. And then I'm going to come back over here to I have like everything turned around and looking crazy. So I'm going to have to put this back up. Why is my camera still running on my phone? I'm going to double check that. Oh no. Okay, I think, wait, is there a chair? Yeah, I've literally sat down and there hasn't been a chair before because I'm clumsy. So I was like, maybe I should make sure there's a chair. Also, why isn't my camera, why is my camera I try and tilt sideways? Now it's guys, why is this so hard? Why is adjusting a camera so hard? Why is this so difficult? Why is this fighting me? There. Okay. how short I am right now, apparently. Anyways, so that is painting with leather paints. It's been great talking to all of you today. I'm going to have to fix this camera at some point so I don't look so tiny. I am little. All right, guys. I will see you all tomorrow on Cause Talk Live. So have a good day. Bye.